How we doing? Oh, got one for you today. This was back in, I'm pretty sure it was like 1993. Could have been close to 94, but it was 93, I think. And this friend of mine was telling me about this band called Cry of Love. And I think they got the name Cry of Love, something to do with the Hendrix song. I've never been, don't get mad, but I've never been just a huge Hendrix fan. You know, some of his, I really like some of the songs that he done, but most I liked them better when somebody else done them, like Stevie Ray Vaughan or something. Anyway, let's not get into that right now. Anyway, the band was Cry of Love, and they were playing at the Club 616, Memphis, Tennessee. And this is going to be about 1993. And so it's me and Lori and Rick Moreland and Mary Moreland. And so we ride up there, and Rick, I can't remember how or where, but Rick had met Audley Freed, their guitar player, somewhere at some point. I can't remember where it was, but I think maybe he had seen them before. He can correct me in the comments if he wants to. But we went to see them. 616 was a pretty good place to see a band because there weren't any bad places to stand or sit. You know, I mean, it was all good, you know. And the sound was usually real good in there. But anyway, we were in there, and I was wearing my, at that time, it was one of my favorite t-shirts. I had a Troy Lee design race face t-shirt, and it kind of glowed in the dark, kind of. It had this guy going on the front, you know, race face. Anyway, we watched, you know, they went on, and we watched them in the crowd there, and man, they were good, man. I mean, had a great tone. Audley Freed just live, when he was playing Cry of Love stuff, of course, he was basically Cry of Love, you know, but I mean, he was great on there, man. I mean, Audley he's in easily my top, he may even be in my top 5 favorite guitar players. He's in at least the top 7 or 8, my favorite guitar players of all time. He gets to do a lot of this, he does a lot of this Nashville stuff now where they're doing these tributes and stuff. Usually Audley will be up there playing. Anyway, even at the Grand Ole Opry. But anyway, man, they were great. And I noticed that Audley kind of looked out through the crowd there a few times, over there toward us a few times. And I didn't think much about it. I really didn't. But man, I'm talking about, they were great. Well, Rick Moreland goes over, I forgot who he went over and said something to, but he went over and said something to one of the roadies or something, there, one of their tour guys, and he said something to him about, you know, could, you know, we go back and talk to Audley, you know, could we meet Audley? And I guess he told him, you know, that we'd met him before, that Rick had met him before. Anyway, let me tell you what this guy done. He got me and Rick, and here we go. And I was thinking Lori and Mary went with us too. I can't remember, but next to 616 it was like, it's kind of together, but it was like a dance club. And I'm talking about, it was a you know, kind of dance club. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. You can laugh if you want to, but you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so after they get through playing, here we go. This guy's carrying us through this. We walk out of 616 through a doorway, and here we go through the dance club. We go all the way back to the dance club. We go in there. He carries us in to the dressing room, and there's Audley. Now, I kid you not. I am serious about this. This amazed me. When we walked in the door and Audley saw Rick, he said, "Hey, Rick, how you doing?" He remembered Rick's name. And we stood there and talked, and I said, well, it was one of the dumbest things. I felt, because I get a little, I used to, and I might still now, but not as bad as I used to. I'm so much older now, but I was kind of a little bit starstruck, and I was like, Audley said, "Hey man, I like your t-shirt." He said, "I saw it from the stage." He was talking about he saw my Race Face t-shirt, and I, me not knowing really what to say or anything, just saying, "Oh, appreciate it." I said, "Hey, I like your shirt too." He was wearing some, like a Western piped, something he probably bought in a, a thrift store or something, shirt. It was cool, but you know what I mean. Anyway, I was just like, we stood back there and talked to him just a little bit. Rick talked to him, and so then we left. Audley was the only one in there. I don't remember anybody else being in there. It was just Audley. We stayed there and talked to him for a little while, and literally, I cannot remember any more of the conversation after that. I think probably Rick done most of the talking or anything, but anyway, Audley was a real nice guy. He was a cool guy. So we go back out, and we go back through the dance club. They may have carried us around back through the back. Anyway, we went back into 616, and here comes Kelly Holland. Kelly Holland was the singer for Cry of Love. Great singer, really good. And I don't have any qualms about the singer they had on the second album. Was it Diamonds and Debris? I don't have any qualms with his singing, but Kelly was the one that really made an impression on me on the Peace Pipe album. Look, if you don't have Cry of Love, Peace Pipe, that album, if you don't have it, you need to get it. Download it, do whatever. You need to get it because it is one of the best albums from the early 90s. I mean, it was a great album. The guitar work that Audley does on it is really good. Some of the guitar licks and stuff he does on it is just really good. Anyway, if you like Stratocaster and Marshall amp, you're going to love this album. Anyway, so we go back into 616, and by golly, Kelly, man, just pulls up a stool, and we sit in there and we talk for a long time. And he was talking just like he was from down the street from us, and he's known us for years, man. It was like he was tickled to death to have somebody to talk to. And he was talking, and look, I'm going to be serious about it because, see, Kelly passed away back, it's been a few years ago now. He passed away. He had some kind of, I don't know if it was, he had something, anyway, it overtook him, and he passed away. But when we were talking to him that night, you could tell he loved playing, but he didn't like being on the road, because he was talking about how he missed his people at home and that kind of thing. And he said that was the only thing about playing was having to be on the road and being gone all the time and all that. And something kind of clicked in me then that he probably wasn't going to be with the band a whole lot longer. I'm going to tell you something. If you go in, you got to realize something. If you want to play music, you're going to have to travel at some point. If you have any success at all, you're going to have to travel at some point. And Kelly I guess he just didn't want to do it. Now there may be more to the story than what I know. I'm just telling you my side and what he told us that night. You could tell that he loved talking to us. He loved talking to people. He was a great guy. I mean, super nice guy. You couldn't ask for just a nicer guy. As far as just got off the stage from doing a whole set of their music, and then stand around and talk to just some nobodies like me and Rick and Mary and Lori. He was just as cool a guy as you could ever meet. You couldn't ask for a better guy. So, all these guys, aren't unreachable or untalkable too. Now, it was a different time then, and they weren't real big at that time. They were big enough to play 616 though. I thought that was pretty big. It's like 616 will probably hold close to 1,000 people probably. If I'm wrong on that, somebody correct me. I believe it's 700 to 1,000 people it'll seat, depends on. Anyway, when we talked to Kelly that night, I could tell that he probably wasn't going to be singing with them very much longer because he didn't like the touring. But now, man, he was a super nice guy, and man, he could sing. I'm telling you right now, if you don't have Cry of Love, the Peace Pipe album, you need to get it. It is worth the buy. Now, I believe the second album was Diamonds and Debris, or was it Pawn Shop Guitars? No, I believe it's Diamonds and Debris. It's a good album too, but Kelly's not singing on it. But it's a good album too. Audley's playing some awesome guitar on it too, so check them out if you never have. This has been another episode with the Steering Wheel Commentator. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that little notification bell.